this opportunity to be here. Thank you for this opportunity to be here. Thank you for this opportunity to be here. It's an honor to be standing in front of the citizens of the city of Killeen. My name is Jessica Gonzalez. I am from the city of Killeen, born and raised. My father retired military here, Alexander Holloman. Did 3 tours of Vietnam, was here when it was Camp Hood. I grew up here on Kangaroo Avenue and graduated from Killeen High School as a kangaroo myself. My mother was one of the first African-American teachers at Parker Heights Elementary School, Mary Holloman, and so I'm proud to be a Killeenite. I'm very honored to be here, but one of the things that I want to share with you is the reason why I chose to do what I'm doing right now. Not only is this my hometown, and I saw that there was a need for some changes and for some improvements, I also felt that I was able to build a bridge, to start working on communication, start connecting groups and organizations, and getting our citizens and our groups out of silos to start working together to get more done. I feel that a collaborative effort is essential to our success. I also believe that the city of Killeen has a lot to offer, and I feel that we've been kind of pushed aside. So building relationships, not only with each other and with people that are working within different industries here, but also with our regional leaders, our state leaders, our federal leaders to help us. It's all a collaborative process, and I do believe in that. So I feel that I'm the best candidate to help build that, continue to help build that bridge. It is my honor to have served and to work with groups like Meals on Wheels to be able to partner with that program and to be able to create an opportunity through ARPA funds to donate to that group that serves our community on a day-to-day basis. They handle so much for our seniors and for those that are not able to handle their food service and to be able to get out. And so to be able to help partner with our communities has been an honor. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. It is such an honor for me to be here, and I'm going to be the first one to tell you guys I am not a politician, okay? So you guys are going to get the real Gabriel tonight. You know, the reason I gave a lot of thought to why I decided to run, and I had a speech prepared, I had all my notes, but the only thing that kept coming to my mind was my mom. My mom last year was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and I began to travail how hard it is to get approved for so many programs, right? Or getting approved for Social Security and stuff like that. And I decided that I wanted to be, maybe I can't change the whole thing, but at least I can start somewhere. You know, I believe that in District 1 there's so much potential. There's untapped potential in District 1. And like I said, this is the first time I've ever done a political forum. Every time I grab the mic, it's always been to preach in church. So you guys might get a little bit of the preacher here. So, you know, who is Gabriel Montalvo? I'm a person that believes in helping people. And not just saying it, but truly meaning it. You know, I don't know all the answers, you know, but I do believe that God has called us together and we are better together. Amen. I'm the first Hispanic candidate to ever run for this seat. Y quería decirle algo a todos que viven aquí en la ciudad de Killeen. Soy el primer hispano en correr para esta posición. Yo creo en la diferencia. Yo creo en ayudando al ser humano. Thank you guys so much for the opportunity to be here. My name is Gabriel Montalvo, and I'm excited to be running.
Thank you. So the question was, what have I done so far in office? I hired or helped to hire a downtown director of revitalization. One of the things that I worked on was working diligently for our downtown district. Again, this is a huge opportunity to do something different. One of the primary things that I was fighting for was not to keep doing the same thing the same way and expecting a different outcome. So with that said, what we had to do was start structuring ourselves a little bit differently. So I worked to hire a downtown revitalization director. One of the other things that we also need is some designations to raise awareness and also help our businesses that are downtown. So what that means is our Main Street designation. It's a nationwide recognized organization that also has grant and educational opportunities for our local business owners. So it's also going to pour back into our citizens that are actually creating jobs and creating opportunities for the citizens that they serve. Another thing that I've done here is also put money into the parks. So we have lots of parks in District 1, but a lot of them are failing. We have lots of children in District 1, but it was hot to go on those slides, and it was some of those things were not workable for some of those children. But we put a lot of money into the infrastructure to improve the area parks for our young people, just to name a few. There's a lot.
Good evening. By being open and collaborative, my main mission in running is to revitalize and help move forward, finally, the revitalization of the downtown of the city of Killeen. As a small business owner, I know how hard it is to have bills, have a staff, have things you have to pay for, and feel like you don't have any support. I believe that revitalization of the downtown is the key to our future. So I want to work, number one, pushing forward more initiative, more education, more money for our downtown businesses. I want to work to help have more youth programs for the downtown, the District 1. We need more. And so one of the biggest things that, I hear all the time is that, you can't just sit there and do it. You have to go out. You have to be present. You have to be, in the community and be an ear to hear what exactly residents need. Revitalization of the downtown, Killeen infrastructure, working with more youth programs and stuff, and helping, the entire citizens. Thank you.
Thank you. For the police chief, it's going to be very important that they are a clear, concise communicator. This person, he or she, needs to be an out-of-the-box thinker. They need to be community-focused and understand that we are a diverse community, but in order to not only bring the force together, they also need to create a presence that is peaceful and unifying within our community. As we know what's going on all around the world, recruitment issues and challenges that they're facing, this person is going to have to be a unifier. It's going to be most important that they are a unifier. And to be able to understand that coming into this diverse community, coming into our city, we're going to require that they be able to, again, thinking outside the box, creating community programs, partnering with organizations. We've got some great programs that are in place, a new task force downtown. We need that enhanced. So being able to come up with those creative concepts to help our citizens feel safe, to create programs that are actually going to work, and then implement those changes. Thank you.
I believe the key here is, what is the vision of the council? I think that the person or the next police chief that is selected for the position is someone that carries the vision of the Killeen City Council. What is that vision? Better policing, but better yet, community policing. One of the things that I admire so much about Chief Kimball is that he, for the first time, it was the first time I actually saw a police chief that actually cared about, being present in the communities. Every time, I log in and watch the news or see anything, I always see that the police has a presence. The next police chief has to be someone that can carry the mantle of responsibility to care for people, to be out in the community, to be loving. The city council has to have an open and honest and frank relationship with the new incoming chief. Thank you.
So has operated in a transparent manner. What can we do to continue to encourage that? I think that the fact that we've got citizens who are present, they've got their YouTube channels and their Facebook channels there, and they're live streaming to encourage the approachability of our council members, that we can be present, and anyone, whether you are for or against what we are standing for in that moment or voting for in that moment, to be approachable is also an effort to help transparency. So being approachable, I think, is essential to that. But I do think we've done a great job thus far of being transparent. Thank you.
Well, I believe that there needs to be more. You said, do you repeat the question? Sorry.
If elected, how would you work to ensure the city council is transparent and accountable to the public?
Okay, perfect. You know, I believe that there needs to be more transparency in our government. You know, when you work a 9-to-5 job, or a lot of the people in the city of Killeen work, you know, late hours, working stalker position, working, you know, manufacturing positions. So a lot of the times they don't have time, you know, to watch the 5 o'clock news or, you know, be on social media. I believe that we, as, you know, when I get elected, we have to be more transparent. I believe that the citizens of District 1 should be the most informed citizens of Killeen. Every single thing that happens, the citizens need to know. Even the council people that show up late, we got to dock them on and off. But, you know, we have to be more transparent and accountable. Thank you.
So, thank you for the question. Prop A was, again, I was telling you, it was not necessarily my battle, but the citizens brought that initiative to the council. Part of my responsibility legislatively is to make sure that we're following our charter and that we're doing that in a fair and responsible way. When we followed our charter and allowed our citizens the opportunity to speak and to use their voice, they voted to have that put onto our ballot as an initiative. And we were advised by legal to go ahead and that was actually recommended to let that happen. But more importantly, one of the things that I could not do and I could not set well with was to take away or rescind a vote. At this point, if a citizen has cast their ballot, I think that we are opening a very dangerous can of worms when you start looking at taking votes because of a particular issue. If it's Prop A today, what will it be tomorrow? And if you just start wiping away votes, you are creating a whirlwind of troubles. So with that said, I think that the courts need to decide at this point. They need to decide how that handles. That's how laws get made on the federal level, on the state level, and so that's where we're gonna let that stand. Thank you.
This is where I'm probably going to get controversial, okay? We are a nation of laws. We are a nation of laws. And I believe that one of our core responsibility, not even as city council members, but as people, is to always be honest. I believe that that decision has already been made by the citizens of Killeen. But I do believe, before wasting the citizens' time, that decision should have been made by the court system. And we are a nation of laws, and we have to follow the laws. Thank you.
Thank you. I would have to ask that question with a question. The severity is defined by whose standards? When we start looking at crime, it's a real issue, and it's an onion. There's a lot of problems that go into this. Whether we're talking about the severity of crime as it relates to challenges with our youth, well, we address that by creating more programs, creating more outreach opportunities, creating more what we've done with funding our nonprofit organizations to be able to reach the young people and meet them where they are. Whether we're talking about crime as it relates to the homeless, that's a whole other program and a whole other situation. So when we talk about severity of crime, are we also talking about disproportionate balance of laws and punishments for laws, and really digging down and figuring out how do we find more balance there. It's a huge question. So the severity of crime in Killeen, I say we have our work cut out for us. My goal and my hope, and I will continue to say it, I say it every Tuesday on that dais, is to get our community organizers out of the silos, to bring us together for a collaborative effort. Back in the day, they had groups and churches and organizations that worked together collectively for a cause, for the community. You knew where you could go for help, you knew who you could turn to for help, and you knew who to call for help. We need to bring that back. And so it will take a collective, collaborative effort, but people to stop talking about it and actually be about it. Let's do the work.
Part of the issue here is that Killeen is growing. And whenever a city is in the process of growing, it attracts more issues with crime, more issue with homelessness. We address it by, number one, supporting our police officers. But we just can't only support our police officers. It has to be a multifaceted, multi-year, multi-dimensional approach, community engagement with the churches. You know, it is a problem. But you know, when I travel to New Jersey, New York, they have some real issues over there. But I'm just so thankful that we live in a city that is focused on solving the issues. We have to support our police officers. We have to get on the street. We just can't talk the talk. We gotta walk the walk. Thank you.
Thank you. So we have to be thoughtful with regards to this. So we think about people that are mobility challenged. We think about how our city right now is structured and spread out all across the city of Killeen. I think centralizing your services creates an opportunity for people to be able to have easy access to their governmental services. To Mrs. Kopp's point, we have people that are in buildings that are defunct, that are falling apart, and of course, yes, something new is not just something new and shiny, but this is something new that will allow our city to connect, to be able to centralize, to be able to allow our citizens to have ease of access. Right. How are we gonna do it? We don't know yet. We're doing our due diligence to investigate that. That's huge, right? So we need to identify how much is it gonna cost. We need to find out, is this something that is reasonable? And then if it is, and we figure out that it's something that we can do, then we'll take it to the citizens and say, this is our case, this is why we feel the way we feel, do you support this? And the citizens will ultimately decide. Thank you.
I believe that ultimately, as a city council member, we have to be wise steward of the people's money. And I believe that, you know, we have to be as efficient as possible. But I'm just gonna speak from my heart right now. I believe that, you know, I support a new city hall, but ultimately that's gonna be up for the residents. But what I am more concerned about is investing in getting more ways of getting a grocery store in the in District 1. You know, we can go vote, but we can't go buy groceries in our own district. And I like to eat. I'm just gonna be honest with you. So I believe that we have to let the citizens decide, but I believe that we have to also keep a main focus on working hard to allocate dollars with KDH to bring a grocery store to District 1. Thank you.
Do I have any solutions? Yes, yes, and yes. Do I have challenges? Yes, yes, and yes. Part of the solutions that we have been working on here in District 1 is outreach first to our business owners who have facilities that are accessible to be used as grocery stores, reaching out to vendors who are grocery providers. We have done go-sees, which means basically we've invited people from other areas, Oklahoma, the country of Jordan. There's been a lot of people here that have come to our city to investigate if this is a viable resource, if they can afford to open a grocery store. What are the logistical challenges of opening that type of facility here, and how much is it gonna cost? So opening the dialogue, creating an opportunity for business owners to come in and see. But then also, we had ARPA funds that we also allocated for startup costs for businesses. That would have been a great opportunity, and I was hoping for some citizens to put in for a boutique grocery to be able to open those up. So getting creative and thinking outside of the box. How can we do this? A big box store in District 1 we're finding is maybe not necessarily going to be a viable solution. But having 3 boutique grocers is a viable solution. So we've got people that are coming into town that are looking at our area. I'm saying come to these town halls, check in with me periodically if you want to know what's going on. There is a lot happening by way of investment in the city of Killeen, in our grocery store for our constituents. Thank you.
Last night, it took me 26 minutes to get to the HEB on Tremere. And I am tired of driving that far for groceries. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my heart. In order to attract, the key word here being attract, a grocery store to North Killeen is revitalization of the downtown. See, a lot of times we as citizens, we want to run before we can walk. We want to turn on the car when there's no gas. What we need is to focus on the downtown so we can attract a grocery store. I don't like to eat vegetables that much, I'm going to be honest, but we need more farmers markets. We need more food trucks, activities. But the key here is, in long-term growth as well, we need to be able to attract by revitalizing the downtown. Thank you, and bringing a grocery store. Thank you. I want to tell you guys a story. Well, it's not a story, it's the truth. I was raised by a single mother. She worked 2 jobs. She was a CNA, worked nights, taking care of our elderly. And during the day, she worked at a housekeeper on Fort Hood. I'm just so humbled that a kid with humble beginning is able to be, this is like a dream come true for me right now. And I remember I would watch my mom fight to keep food on the table. And I always told myself, and I always felt it in my heart, I've always wanted to be an advocate for people that are fighting and pushing forward. If you elect me, well, I'm going to be elected. And I am going to fight for people that are pushing the ball forward. I don't know how my mom worked 2 jobs and still cooked. It wasn't the best, but she cooked. But she cooked. I work selling houses. I work with a lot of first-time home buyers. And I see the American dream slowly creeping away. And I want to be an advocate for anyone that is trying to become better, that is trying to move forward. That's who Gabriel Montalvo is at his core. A mentor of mine said 2 things. You look out for the elderly, and you take care of our children. Folks, my grandma is going to be 80 years old. She is still a firecracker, 4'3", and she could still knock me side of my head. I want to fight for people like her. At 70 years old, she was working 2 jobs, and she finally retired. I want to be an advocate for people that are constantly pushing towards their dream. And only in America can a little kid from the Dominican Republic be on a stage tonight. I'm asking for your vote. I don't know it all, but I'm willing to learn and I'm willing to fight for you. Thank you.
I was challenged and asked to run because they were looking for someone who was about their business, who was not going to be swayed, who was not going to do things the status quo way, who was going to be serious about finding alternative options to make things happen, and then to bring about that change. Now, I'm that person. And so I've been working diligently on behalf of my citizens and diligently on behalf of the city that I love to make sure that we are progressing and that we're moving forward, because we are not chopped liver. The city of Killeen is a force to be reckoned with, and I will tell anyone that. We are not our crime. We are one of the most diverse cities in the state of Texas. We are literally positioned in the heart of Texas, and we need to start acting like it. We need to unify, and then we need to do the work, right? We don't care about party affiliations. We don't deal with that. We don't care about where you came from, if you're on the east side, north side, 4th district, whatever. We are in this together. So my challenge to my citizens and across the city is to continue to let me work for you, but also to come out and help me help us. We have a congressional office for the first time in the city of Killeen. Did you know that? Do you know how huge this is? This is a big deal. So now we can start. Everybody says, where does the money come from? Where are we going to fund it? How are we going to get it? Not saying it's a cure-all, end-all, right? I get that. But we have an opportunity to show our state leaders and our federal leaders who are responsible for those dollars that are supposed to trickle down to some of the larger counties in Texas. We're here. We're organized. We're professionals. We are a community of leaders, of educators, of politicians, of grandparents. We are a force to be reckoned with. So if you are ready for serious change and you want to continue to stay the course, just know that progress is straight ahead. We cannot look the other way. We cannot be dissuaded. We cannot be divided. Let's stay the course and let's move forward. Thank you.